Let us explore the data in Excel. You can see we are sitting with a table. We've got a number of columns. We've got year, age, race, exam year, faculty, final mark, gender. We've got home language as it was captured. We've got matric year, which is in the format year, month. We've got qualifications, student numbers, subject code, the code of P for pass, F for fail, FTE enrolled, full-time equivalents enrolled, and full-time equivalents passed. We also have a sheet for cohort, which contains the student number and then their cohort year. And then we've got notes. So the notes is telling us when the data was extracted, what filters were applied. It's telling us that the deregistered subjects were removed, and some adjustments were made to clean up the data. And the final mark as captured on ITS was extracted. At the moment, we aren't sure how the supplementary exams are handled. So the cohort is the year in which students were in their first year in the BSBTC program. So if we go and have a look, you can see we've got 2018, and as we scroll down, we've got 2019. So we are sitting with students who registered in 2018 for their first year, and students who registered in 2019 for their first year. So it's also now telling us the difference between pass rate and success rate. So pass rate is the number of pass divided by the number enrolled. Success rate, however, takes into account your full-time equivalents. So the full-time equivalent is using the credit value of the module, which is a fraction of what it constitutes of a standard full-time curriculum. So the total credit value of all courses taken by a full-time student must be assumed to be equal to 1 for the study year. So let's go and have a look at these full-time equivalents for the enrolled. And you can see this module is 0.1. And if you had to add up all of these for one student within the program, and provided they take all of the subjects as required, they will equal 1. So the larger the fraction, the more it's weighted. So if we have a look at Cornerstone 101, you can see this is 0.094. So Cornerstone is a 12 credit module. And if you had to have a look at the Me, My World, My Universe one, Me, My World, My Universe 101, and you'll see that that one is a 0.067. So that is the full-time equivalence. It's the credit value of the module as a fraction. Okay. As it constitutes the standard full-time curriculum. So pass rate just takes into account the number of students passed and enrolled, whereas success rate actually looks at the credit values of the module and weights it according to the credit value. So that should be enough information. We can go and have a look at our table over here. The first thing we would want to do is actually put this into a table. So at the moment, it's just in a sheet. It's not sitting in what Microsoft would call a table. So let's go Insert, Table. Does my table have headers? Yes, it does. Right. And I'm going to go and call this table by the code BSTBC1. Sorry, BSBTC1. This table I'm going to go and call cohort. So let's insert table. Yes, it has headers. And yes, go and call it cohort. Right. And what's nice about a table is suddenly now you can go and filter. So I can go and have a look at all of the students in 2018, and I can see that 74 students registered in 2018. I can go and change that to 2019. So you just toggle these on and off. Okay, 2019. If we have a look, we can see 70 students registered in 2019. So that's what's really useful about a table. I could go in these as well and sort them. They're very easy to sort once you're in a table, which is pretty convenient. Okay, and you'll see if we're out of the table, you'll see there's no table over here. And as soon as we go in, we see table. And it's saying we can even put in total rows. So over there, it's giving me the total, and it's doing a sum. I don't want that. I just want to know the count. So we can say there you can see for 2019 and 2018 combined. Let's go for 2018. Scroll down, 74. Let's go and change it to 2019, 70. So in 2018, there were 74 first years. In 2019, there were 70 first years. So let's go back and have a look at the data some more. So we can see the year, the age of the students, their race, and we can see what races there are captured. The exam year, which should be the same as the year, your faculty, the final mark. You can see we've got gender, we've got M for male, F for female, Zulu, all of the home languages that are captured. We've got matric date. Now you can see here the matric date is captured as year, 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 month, month. So I want the year matriculated. So I'm going to use the formula left. I want the left, and I want the first 4 values, which will give me the year. And you can see the usefulness of the table is that it's automatically gone and filled in and copied and filled the formula down. These student numbers have been adjusted, however, and changed to keep it anonymous, but the subject codes and that are still the same. So we've got F for fail, P for pass. We've got the FTE enrolled and the FTE passed. So here we can see the FTE passed for these ones is 0. And if we had to go and have a look, we would see they've gone and failed those modules. They've gone and failed those modules, and that is why it's 0. Okay, so let's go and do a bit more interesting stuff. Let's go and pull in the cohort, their cohort year, into the spreadsheet. Right. So I'm going to insert a column. I'm going to call this cohort. Actually, I'm going to delete this column over there. And I'm going to add cohorts at the end. Okay. And again, the usefulness of the table is automatically expanded it. So in order to go and look it up in another table, we use the command VLOOKUP. The VLOOKUP is one of the most useful commands within Excel and something that we use a lot. So all I did is I did the brackets and then I clicked the function and it opened the box. So let's think this through now. I want to go and look up the student number. Where do I want to go and look it up? I want to go and look it up in this table over here, right? In the whole table. And that table, we called it cohort. And so it's cohort. And I wanted to return the second column. So this is column 1. If I had it as column 1, it would return the student number. And by making a column 2, it's going to return the cohort year. And my range lookup must always be false. So what it's now gone and done, it's gone and looked up every time for each row the student number within our cohort table, and it's gone and returned the second column. And false because we want it to be an exact match. So once we've got it sitting in the table like this, we need to summarize it. So you can see we've got all of the entries for a student. We've got all of the subjects that they took, their pass-fail marks. But at the moment, we can't analyze this because we need to summarize it. There's just too much detail going on. So in order to summarize it, we need to create a pivot table. Insert pivot table. Right, that's the name of the table, correct? And one of the tricks here is to say add this data to the data model. By putting it into a data model, you've got a bit more functionality within your pivot table. And we're going to want it to do a unique count of the students based on their student number. And that will only work if we have it clicked over here, adding it to the data model. So this is the pivot table, and this is what it looks like. If you click outside the pivot table, nothing. If you click inside, suddenly this pops up, design pops up, right? And we have a whole lot of things that we can click over here. And we have things that we can go and drag them to. So we've got a filters. The rows is what goes on the left. The columns is what goes on the top. And the values is the values that we are interested in. Okay. So let's go in and have a look. Let's pull out the cohort here. My cohort here. Just click and drag. And let's go to those student numbers, right? And you can see what it's gone and done is done the count of the student numbers. But remember, this includes all of the subjects that a student takes. So there will be multiple subjects per student. So we're going to do the drop down button. We're going to click the value field settings. And over here, we want the distinct count. Right. So actually, 74 students in 2018, and in 2019, we had 69 first-year students. Right, so that's a repeat of the data that we've got over here under cohort. So, what other stuff can we look at? Maybe let's have a look now at the subjects. So, we're going to click and drag the subject code. And now it's telling us for each year the number of students within your program registered for the subjects. And we can now actually click and drag these. So at the moment it's looking a bit busy. I've got 2018 and 2019. I'm going to drag the year to 2018. I mean to the columns. So now we've got the cohort here sitting in the columns, and we've got the subjects on the left. So we can see in 2018, 72 students took Cornerstone. In 2019, 64 within the program of the 2019 students. Right. So this is actually, slightly wrong, interpreting it differently. If you're in 2018 and you repeated Cornerstone, you would be included over here. So this number over here includes the 2018 cohort who repeated Cornerstone in 2019. Right. More to be continued.